Hey, Hamilton Central Church family, it's Pastor Jerry here. Just wanted to reach out to you, see how you're all doing, and share a little bit of information with you. Obviously, overnight we moved from level 4 down to level 3. I've heard some people refer to it as level 4 with takeaways. Not a lot changes in level 3. One thing that doesn't change is that we are still unable to meet together physically to worship on Sabbath mornings. So again, as we did last Sabbath, we will be meeting via Zoom. We met last week via Zoom. It went really well. We had Pastor Willie with us. He shared a message called Faith Fuel, and it essentially looked at righteousness by faith. I know all that were there for that were immensely blessed by it, as I was. But this Sabbath we are starting a new series called Blooming in the Boom of Babylon, and we're basically going to be looking at the book of Daniel. Book of Daniel is just one of my favorite books. Very, very practical book, as well as being very prophetic. So very pertinent to us as Seventh-day Adventist Christians living in these strange and unusual times that we are living in. Daniel's story just gives us such a good idea of how we are to navigate these times that we are living in. So that'll be a real blessing. The message for this Sabbath, looking at chapter 1, I'll be sharing is called Let Your Roots Be Your Branches. Let your roots be your branches. So tune in for that one. I know that you're going to be blessed by this series looking at the book of Daniel. Another thing that we're going to be beginning this weekend as well is on Sunday evening at 6:30 p.m. we are starting a family week of prayer called Living Fruitful Love. Living Fruitful Love. And we're going to be looking at the fruit of the Spirit that we find in Galatians 5. It's going to be a real blessing. It's going to run from this Sunday at 6:30 p.m. right through to Sabbath, next Sabbath. And we'll try and organize that reading to go up around about the same time as we close Sabbath. So that'll be a great thing that you can do to close Sabbath this weekend. So that is going to be a real blessing, that series, that week of prayer. Just before I go, I'd just like to also share with you a word from Scripture. And this is from the book of Hosea. Hosea was a prophet like Daniel, and he lived a little bit before Daniel. But he navigated a time in the history of God's people where they were kind of up and down in their experience with God. Not a lot changes, obviously. But right at the end of Hosea, we come to a point where Israel has been restored. Israel's come back to God. And we pick it up in verse 5, and it says this: I will be like the Jew to Israel. This I being God. God will be like the Jew to Israel. And Israel in turn shall grow like the lily, and lengthen his roots like Lebanon. His branches shall spread. His beauty shall be like an olive tree, and his fragrance like Lebanon. So when we are focused on God, when we are looking at God, then we grow in God. We bloom in God. We flourish. We grow. And such an important thing, especially in these times that we are living in, to just not be distracted by all the craziness out in the world, but just keep your eyes on Jesus, knowing again that he is the author and the finisher of our faith. He saw these things coming, and he wants to prepare us to navigate this time that we are living in. So again, just before we leave, if you are in an isolated bubble, you're on your own, and you're really struggling, please reach out to us, the pastoral team, the eldership team. You can send us a message via Facebook. You can send us an email. You can also use the visitation form on our church website, where you can reach out to us. And again, we would love to hear from you, just to speak into your life and to encourage you through this crazy time that we are in. So again, just keep your eyes on Jesus. We look forward to seeing you again soon, and stay blessed.